Hey YouTube, Darren here. We're out here working on this guy, and I've been tinkering on it for a few minutes. I'll show you what I've already gotten to. The plugs are both are firing. There's some crappy, odd little plugs. CJ7Y. I'm not sure if those are the correct ones for this overhead valve, but that's what's on there. They're both firing. They're not firing great, but they're both firing. Fuel pump, the diaphragm is busted. I hooked it up, bumped it over, and it did kind of spin over, and it started pumping and started squirting fuel out. So the fuel pump here I know is bad. And what we're doing now, some of the fuel line as well was ruptured or split, so I've replaced it. I'm going to do a gravity feed on this guy. I've got the carburetor sitting right here, and we are going to make a couple of little bushings or little spacers out so we can hold this guy up against the intake, and then we're going to see if we can bump it off. Hopefully I'm not going to have a problem with the anti-backfire solenoid. It wasn't hooked up, so I'm hoping it's already been cut, but I'm going to take it off in just a second and look and see. So that's where we are, guys. I wanted to do some shout outs to people that have subscribed and shared the videos and everything. And I always want to mention Sulphur City Designs. Guys, custom work, decals, hoodies, t-shirts, magnetics, really good designs. If you don't have a design, they'll make one for you. They've done all my stuff. Really good people. Southern Off-Road Mowers, speaking of some really good people, go to it and post some junk. We love it when you do. You don't have to though, but we like it. Doran R. Brown, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. John R.W. 2012, thanks for subscribing, man. Garrett Claudia, thanks for subscribing. Daniel Dow, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. And O2 Warrior, thanks for sharing the videos, man. I appreciate it. Jordan Skillen, thanks for sharing as well. Ford Lawn Man, thanks for sharing. Joseph Hedden and Moon Mutter, thanks for sharing all the videos, guys. As I thought, since it wasn't hooked up and it kind of bumped over, it has been cut already. That's the anti-backfire solenoid, and it must have had a problem, so the previous owner had already clipped it. This is about like it was when it came off. It was actually really clean. I was surprised. So what we're going to do, put this guy back on and try to bump it over with a jump box and gravity fed fuel tank. Now we're back. See what it'll do. What I have done is, just for the moment, to get it to crank, to hold it in place. This isn't to crank it up and to let it be there forever. Went ahead and put the fuel line on, trimmed the ends back. That's where these two guys came from. This is fuel line. We'll put it over here. Put it over here. We're going to put the nuts and the washers back down on here. Tighten this guy back up, and that way it will pull up to the intake. So, guys, one thing I do want to show you. When you're going to do this and use these as spacers, take off the gasket if the gasket is loose. If the gasket is just on there, if it is not really stuck to it, go ahead and take it off, because what you're going to do, you stand the chance of torquing that gasket and ripping it. You don't want to do that. You don't have to go out and buy another gasket because you're trying to do a shortcut. There. I'm just going to snug it up by hand, really. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to check the linkages and make sure everything's good. Going to pour a little gas to it and bump it over. Alright guys, more to come. Well, we did get it to crank, and from that we know it sounds pretty good. But we're gonna have to go through the carburetor and clean the carburetor out. It would only run on a full choke, and the throttle was non-existent, so it's just completely gummed up in there, which was to be expected. So nothing terrible. I'll go ahead and pull it out right now, take some pictures of the linkage. I noticed this guy was loose, was missing, or actually off, not missing, and I'm gonna have to find exactly where he goes. Should just connect right up here, is my thought, but I may have to get the one of the books out or go online and see what we got to do with it. But I'll go ahead and pull this guy off and get it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Not bad. More to come. I'm going to show you what we've done so far. The throttle cable and the choke cable run into this bracket here, and it has the connecting rods, the linkage that go up into the throttle and the choke spots on the carburetor. So what I did, I took this off. These are 10mm, just unbolted it and set it down. I haven't taken any of the cables loose. And then I took this bar, 10mm also, a bolt here, took it out completely and loosened that one just where it would pivot down, and I was able to slide it off the rods that go into the intake, and now it's just hanging. Now I'll be able to twist it around and unhook these guys. Since I've never worked on one of these Kawasaki's before that's like this, I went ahead and I go a little overboard. I label this one choke, this one throttle, and if you are down in the south, go ahead and tape up that hole. It'll help keep moisture out, and it will absolutely keep out the dirt daubers and the other bugs that are flying there and make a nest. So now we're going to go to the ultrasonic cleaner tank. More to come, guys. Got it cooking. I'm going to come out here periodically and reset it. So that's about it for this video. I'm pretty confident it's going to crank up and not have any problems, which is really good. Now we just got to figure out what we're going to do with it. Who knows? Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for sharing all the videos. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Going in the house for a little bit, y'all gonna make some mayhem.